Hi, I'm Yana Connors, CEO of CIWA Specialty, and I have the honor of serving as CIWA's current president. 35 years. Back in 1991, Marv Urwitz, Norm Levine, and Dave Anderson laid the foundation for what CIWA has become today. Since then, CIWA has grown into more than an industry group. It's a community.
CIWA was formed in 1991 with one purpose, and that was to advocate on behalf of the wholesalers that do business in the state of California. Today, CIWA remains a top association, while advocacy remains a top priority for CIWA. The other core functions are networking and education.
You see, when I first joined CIWA, it was very early on in my business, and I went to an event that didn't know a soul. Norm Levine became my CIWA mentor. Seriously, this simple act was instrumental in building my business and, frankly, changing my life.
Not every presidency comes with a revolution. We didn't rebrand. We didn't launch a flashy new initiative. What we did was show up, keep things running, and play some really, really good golf at Torrey Pines.
I've seen CIWA stand up for wholesalers when it mattered. I've seen friendships form that last decades. I've seen the next generation welcomed in and given a place at the table. That's what 35 years of commitment looks like.
CIWA gave wholesalers a voice at the time when it was needed. My father wanted to make sure that propositions like 103 would never again not give a wholesaler a voice. The mission hasn't changed. If anything, it's even more important today.
I was CIWA president in 2019 and 2020. We had our January 2020 meeting, good energy, and then about 2 months later, the world shut down. Suddenly, we couldn't meet. We couldn't host events.
So we had to adapt. At the time Kathy Schroeder was the president, she did an outstanding job leading us through that very difficult time. But she asked Tony Manzito and myself to come together and come up with a working economic model for a membership company.
We went to our sponsors and said, hey, we need you. And you know what? They showed up. When one of us is struggling, the rest step in. That's the CIWA heart.
This organization has meant a lot to our family. My father was one of the early founders. The organization was born out of some regulatory challenges that happened in the late 80s, right before the organization was founded. And it's grown quite a bit to help our wholesale industry. Today, the industry also faces some challenges. And with CIWA's help, the California wholesalers are still able to continue to thrive and survive here in the challenging market.
CIWA created a forum where wholesalers could come together, share insight, and speak with a unified voice about what really matters to our business and what really matters in California.
CIWA has brought a lot of value to the wholesale insurance community in California. Personally, one of the greatest benefits of a career in this business for me has always been the deep and abiding friendships that I've developed. Along the way, CIWA has spearheaded a number of legislative initiatives without which the role of wholesaler and surplus line broker would be much more difficult.
Over the years, CIWA representatives have testified at numerous insurance committee, legislative, and informational hearings, the Department of Insurance hearings, and attended countless meetings with policymakers and the Department of Insurance.
The magic isn't in the big moments. It's in the ordinary ones. It's the dinner after the meeting, conversation in the hallway, the guy you've known for 15 years who picks up on the first ring when you need a market. 35 years is a long time for any organization to survive, let alone thrive. And CIWA has thrived because it's never really been about the insurance. It's always been about the people.
Let's continue the tradition that CIWA has of bringing people together, pickleball, golf, great speakers, great educational seminars, social time, deep relationships. And I think that's what's special about CIWA.
Here's to another 35 great years for CIWA.
To the founders who started it.
To every president, board, and committee member.
And to everyone who kept CIWA going when it would have been easy just to let it fall apart.
I wish my dad were here to see how great it has been. I know he'd be proud.
35 years. Norm would be proud, as would Marv, Dave, Jack, and the rest of them.
I can't wait to see what's coming years bring.
Thank you, CIWA, for all your efforts.
Congratulations to CIWA for 35 years.
Cheers to the next 35.